Hey out there, Akronites, welcome once again to Around Akron with Blue Green, and yes, we have an amazing show ahead of us today. I'm going to head over to Immersive Space, the Rialto Theater, Love Ange, and to kick this show off today, I'm going to head over to Community Connections for the ETA, the Employment Training Academy. Let's go see what the Community Connections is all about.
Starting in middle school, I would volunteer with the executive director, Robin, of Community Connections. We're a branch of Community Connections. I would volunteer at the dances she would hold on Wednesday night for adults with disabilities, and they raised money for Special Olympics. And I've always had a heart for people who are different. I have a disability myself. I have ADHD and dyslexia. I was in special ed classes, so I really understand what it's like to not exactly fit in the mold as everyone else does. I've been with the company for going on 8 years. I got my bachelor's at Kent State in disability studies and community education, so it just kind of evolved from there. I've really been with the company for a very long time. Connection. So we started in 2015. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary, and it started with one participant and Robin, and it grew and it grew, and then Jan came onto the team, and she is the supported employment. We also have a supported employment branch, and we job coach and help individuals who do have community jobs complete their jobs, do an interview, fill out the tax forms, learn their job. So she came on, and we've just kept growing since that day, and we serve over 100 individuals today. So everyone who is in our program is on a waiver through either the Summit DD or the state, and that funds that person to come to our program. We're a service. So there's many different great programs in Summit County, and people tour different locations, pick which one fits best for them, and then they begin. What our program is something for people to do, work towards a goal and not just sit at home. They're able to get out in the community, come to our program, make friends. And specifically, our program focuses on the end goal of community employment. So we're all centered around that. We do work with adults, so 18 and up, graduated high school. Community Connections, ETA program, we tailor the program around the individual. We really take into consideration what the person enjoys doing, and we edit the program to reflect that. You know, we have a participant who's really into recycling. Robin ordered, divider bins for recycling, and now we're recycling. We're gonna do a lesson about what can be recycled or what can't be recycled, and that person's going to help me do it. So it's, when someone approaches us with an interest or a passion, we really like to fuel those, because our main goal is having good days and being a safe space for people. The building was built in the 40s when there was still a dirt road through the area, and the church is called the Chapel of Prayer. We rent the space from the church on the weekdays, but we're not affiliated with the church at all. We just rent their space, and we take care of it like a person would renting the building. So each participant in our program has a shared responsibility at the end of the day that we rotate out. And we do things like dust mopping the floor, vacuuming the carpet, taking the trash out, just basic things to keep a building looking nice and up and running, and everyone kind of has their hand in on keeping the place looking nice. It's amazing. It's why we're here. It's why I come to work. I want to see people improve and reach their goals. We've been known to advocate on behalf of our participants when we've noticed them reaching a ceiling or reaching a limit, like, this person has shown leadership skills. They take the program very seriously. We think it's time for them to move on. We hold a team meeting with everyone who's a part of that person's team and then make a plan for that person to move on if that's what they want to do. So it's very exciting. We have, many people who have graduated out of our program. The goal is within 2 to 3 years, we have someone move on from us. And that's why we try to get out into the community. There are so many benefits with hiring someone with a developmental disability, intellectual disability, structure. Our guys really like a structured, they're very consistent. A lot of our guys work really hard and do a phenomenal job, regardless of disability. So, but again, it's just getting your foot in the door. That's the hardest thing. So someone may be more apt to hire someone with a disability when they see that they've already had experience. Like, oh, they've worked before, they know how to follow instructions, they know how to follow rules, and they may be more willing to hire someone with a disability.
Next up, positivity is an amazing thing. Let's go see what Be Love, Love Ange is all about.
I've always been kind of a very emotional person, a lot of anger in my past with my childhood and different things, not really knowing how to see things differently or help myself or not think so negatively or not put focus on things that are going on around me. So I started way early trying to, forgive people that I thought had done me wrong or work through my own griefs, my own past, my own misery. Like I felt like I was trying my hardest. I always tried to put a smile on my face, but in the inside, I really didn't know what I was doing, and I felt lost, and I felt sad, and I felt a lot of fear. So I started just being aware and working on myself and grabbing any tool possible. Back in the day, it was a lot of books, and so I started, reading books on self-help, just different perspectives of life, different ways of looking at things, different ways of choosing to live. And it's been a journey my whole life. And then when I was working at Rubber City Clothing, I had the option to put any message I wanted on shirts if we had letters and numbers, and that's what I would promote because the brand sold itself because it's amazing, but we had letters and numbers, so I made my first shirt was Be a Good Human. And I made that literally to wear while I was bartending because I thought some people needed to see that. But the core of it, no matter what's going on, we're all humans, like the core of everything. So if we can really just take it down to that and just be a good human, that was the first thing I wanted to promote. So I guess that's where it started with the brand, was making the shirts with whatever message that I could put on them. So it became fun because a lot of people would say, oh, hey, that's cool. We should think of that. Another one was Too Cute for Hate. And that's so people would get it and they would laugh and then be like, all right, you know what I mean? Why would you hate? There's no reason for hate. You're too cute for that. It's crazy because I did it because and another thing, they helped me. As I went through life, I made different designs. When I was going through some hard times, I made It's Just a Moment. It is literally just a moment. When it's not good, keep on going. It will be okay. And then when it's good, enjoy it, because it's literally just a moment. That one was the biggest one that I made it for myself, and it got me through moments, but I had a lot of people come back and you don't understand. I was going through some hard stuff, and it was just me and myself. I literally blocked myself away from everybody, but I had this to help me get through, and I got through. So that warms my heart to know that in a time of need for a human, they just remembered, because all you got to do is remember. You get so worked up into whatever is going on in your life, and you don't see light sometimes, and you don't remember that it's literally just a moment, and you've been through a million of them and you got through, but you don't remember that. So to have that be brought up when you don't know how you're going to get through, and just keep working and just keep going, and then you see that you got through, you know, whatever the issue or trial was, that it's going to be okay. Well, I have about 22 creators. They're amazing. They're mostly women, trying to do different things, trying to work and bring out their own creativity. It's cute to watch them grow as well. But yeah, I've got a lot of different, I've got a woman that makes jewelry out of antique silverware, you know, different things. We've got Here We Go Coffee that just started. We've got a lot of different creative, beautiful humans in here too. Even just with positivity, but just the awareness of not all that matters. What really matters is we were born into this world, we are going to die. That is fact. It is not anything dark. It is fact. What we need to do is figure out how to enjoy it, how to step away from the things that are unsavory and bringing us down, and just be grateful for the hot baths and the chocolate ice cream and the flowers and the trees and the nature and the people that we're not going to have one day, because it does end. So if we could switch our perspective to lifting people up and lifting ourselves up and separating ourselves from the ugliness that's going on in the world, also that. We are here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 11 to 5. I'm hoping to open up the hours as I balance my income with my other 2 jobs and paying for all the things, but it's gonna probably open up a little bit more in the summertime, stay open later, and get these classes and these workshops rolling, because I want more people in here healing.
Next, it's over to Kenmore Boulevard for the Rialto Theater. I interviewed them a long time ago, and man, they've come a long way. Let's go see what the Rialto Theater's 10-year anniversary is all about.
Well, first shout out to you for putting that video together, because that also helped Nate and I, the other owner of the Rialto, really get the ground running. We were 2 really naive businessmen, I guess, if you will, just musicians trying to put a music venue together. So we had no money, and putting this place together, you know, a video like that and things that you've helped us do helped tremendously. But fast forward into today, from when we did that video, we went through, which the whole music industry went through quite a bit with the whole COVID situation and things like that. But we started out front. We put all brand new glass and windows and doors in the facility. We got a brand new marquee that kind of lights the boulevard, if you will. And we created what's now called the Rialto Living Room, which is, you know, when we did that interview, we were in the theater space, but we put another bar up front. We have a kitchen now. We do solo, duo acts up in the living room space and stuff like that. That's more open to the public. And 10 years ago in 2015, whenever we did that interview, we didn't have any of those things. So we did quite a bit. When we first started back in 2015, you know, we were kind of learning as we went, if you will. And as we kind of grew, the space itself grew. You know, our guests started, you know, doubling, and then we'd have 50 people, and then we have 75, and we're like, we need to put these people somewhere. At the time, the front, which is now the living room, was a studio, and it wasn't really a space for people to gather. And with the addition of adding the space, we're like, well, let's put another bar in. You know, if it gets busy, people can go get another drink there. That's where we'll serve your coffees and your teas and things like that. We're not baristas by any means, but we will get you a nice coffee or espresso or something like that. And then at the time we're like, well, you know what, we need to put some food on the premises as well. And, you know, being a music venue, you know, it's a little tricky because we're not your fine dining, if you will, but we do take pride in some like, you know, we have little flatbread pizzas, and we've got some like appetizer foods and things like that. So we added that addition to kind of wrap, hopefully, what we're trying to do in this space alone, to kind of give it the full nightlife feel. Sole focus was, you know, just making the theater itself, you know, known, if you will. And then, you know, fast forward throughout the years, it's like, well, we're growing. How do we expand? How do we keep creating, keep reinventing the product, if you will? And then you start meeting people in the local community. And that's kind of where the Rialto well, me and Nate, if you will, go out and meet new people and see what's going on in the community. And Kenmore Boulevard can be a really special place. It's got a great business district. It's got all the buildings that you need for a cool nightlife, you know? So once we started the theater, you know, we started meeting new people, and, you know, people would come in and say, wow, you know, they tell us stories about the Rialto, what it was back in the 20s through 50s. But we started figuring out ways with the community, you know, how can we make this place a better, you know, how can we make it better? How can we attract more business owners? And now, sitting here in 2025, there are some awesome businesses on the boulevard now that we can piggyback off of. We can create, you know, special nights for people and special days even, you know. So originally it was, can we get people to Kenmore Boulevard? Yes, we did that. Now how can we keep them? How can we keep them, you know, coming back? And that's kind of where the rest of the business districts comes into play. So we kind of, Nate and I personally, kind of try to be more involved in the community and in the planning, if you will, of how we can create other spaces for people to come into. Now we've got another music venue. We've got really good guitar shops. We've got a cool tea shop, coffee shop right up the road. It's beautiful. You got to go check it out. And we've got other cool bars as well for everybody, to be honest. So now we're not there yet. We're still moving. We're still progressing. We still got to find other cool ways. I think I got to shout out. Our cello player in our band has a dance studio across the street. It's called the Center Dance and Yoga Studio. And if you are into any of that stuff, please go visit her as well. So she does stuff during the weekends. So. We have an Airbnb at the Rialto now. It's called the Rialto Airbnb. So we built that originally. My brother and I lived up there because, again, we were trying to keep all the money centered around creating this place. But we lived up there for quite a few years, and then we're like, you know what? Artists need a place to stay if they're traveling, or finding places to sleep while you're trying to do your magic, you know, or your art. And Nate and I are thinking, well, let's create a space, a space for them to stay. And we've already gotten people that stay up there. So bands come in, they spend a night here, contact us, and we'll give you we'll give you some lodging for the evening. Now, we did open that up to the public as well, and that's cool too, because now if you're a concert goer, you can also stay up there. So if you're staying the night at the Rialto and you've had maybe 1 or 2 drinks and you want to drive, you can book a stay at the Rialto Airbnb. So people always ask me, you know, you're a bar. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not a bar. I'm a music venue with a bar. And I think that's important because it does not replace somebody's artistic work. They're the feature. That's why we're doing this. Yes, we have to sell alcohol or beverages. We don't have to sell just alcohol. You know, your coffees, we mentioned that. Even your pops and waters, you know, that all will help keep the venue alive. But we're a music venue with a bar. And I think that's important to make sure people know, so we don't lose track of why we're doing this. You know, Nate and I want to promote original work. So, and that's kind of, you know, in the same sense, what we're trying to do.
Now, to wrap this show up today, this is something you're going to want to see for yourself because my video just won't do it justice. Let's go see what immersive space is all about.
I can describe myself like a scientist. The whole my life I worked in STEM education. I have a master's degree in natural sciences. It corresponds to United States level, like a Master of Applied Physicist. So, and all my life I'm trying to use new technologies for education. Education should be interesting. It's not boring because everyone then studying, learning something, is going to sleep and not like remember anything. So that is why I create this space when you can deep yourself in any type of what do you want to learn, any subject. So it can be only the space like I start making. You can like be inside of nuclear bomb, for example, or underwater. It's the deepest in ocean, or you can visit new countries here and new anything about something new about these countries. So it's amazing. You can just be wherever you can be on Tesla factory to visit and knew about all the process. So that was main idea of this space. So actually this is nothing like this in the world. We can find similar immersive spaces, which usually showing pictures and music. It's not like a main point of educational. For like my idea, not waste of time just to looking at pictures or having an entertainment. You just have to remember something, to know something new. And because of we using emotion points, it's not like a cinema. So you feeling, some people feeling like everything moving around, and it helps to like your mind to remember it because you have emotions. So that is why. And like next steps, if it's interesting, I'm planning to add sensors. It's going to be lidars on the walls, on the floor, and like speaking assistant and artificial intelligence. Like the vision, you going in space, it can be a class room, children class from or universities or some scientists. You come inside and artificial intelligence by your voice recognize you and you ask something, for example, show me like nuclear is dividing. Artificial intelligence generate visuals and you can go to the wall and touch the wall because lidars, scanners recognize you. Touches, and also we can add sensors of movements that recognize your movements, your hands, but usually touch is more comfortable than just tourists. Sorry for my English. So, and yeah, and I think it's possible to create this because I know it. Yes, I did it by myself, everything. It took pretty much time. It's, you know, this system like 10 times complicated comparing this regular cinema. 10 times more equipment and you have to create 10 times more visuals here. That is why I'm thinking about artificial intelligence that can help me to do it. And also you have to imagine which parts are contact with another parts in your mind. So I thought to add ceiling, it's not a big problem. Maybe in the future we add it, and you know, in the future, if like phones can allow us, we can change it to LED screens. It's much expensive, but it's much easier to work with it. I see it's future of cinema. So now people has a big TV at home, and they don't really interested to go in a cinema and sit and see the same. But for example, you came here and tell artificial, show me the book about, I don't know, fairy tale book, something, or tell me the story about Terminator, for example. And artificial, you know, it's every day artificial intelligence going better, and you can be inside of the movie and watch the movie. It's next level of the cinema, not only education.
Thank you once again for watching this episode of Around Akron with Blue Green. If you have any questions or comments, you can catch me on social media. Thank you, and have an amazing day. Right there. Around Akron with Blue Green. Ooh.